Hi, my name is Enam Rahman and I'm a Solutions Engineering Manager here at Akamai. The vertical that I work in focuses on customers who are in retail, hospitality, automotive, and e-commerce sectors. I have a few industry experts with me today, and the problem that we're going to discuss today is called cyber squatting that often leads to phishing. And it's a problem that not only impacts customers in my vertical, but in other verticals such as financial services, media, gaming, high tech, etc. Let me start by introducing our participants. I've got Or Katz, Senior Lead Security Researcher, and Ziv Eli, Senior Engineering Manager with me today. So without further ado, I'll dive right into the questions. First question goes to Or. Or, I know you've authored several blogs on phishing and ransomware in the recent past. Can you talk a little bit about yourself and the type of research that you do for those who haven't met you before?
Hi, my name is Or Katz, and I'm Principal Lead Security Researcher. In the past years, I was doing research related to application security, enterprise-related threats, and phishing attacks as well. The interesting part about phishing, as far as I see it, is the fact that those kind of attacks combine both the social engineering element into them, meaning they're trying to engage as much as victims as possible, and at the same time, those kind of attacks are using highly sophisticated techniques to make sure that those kind of scams are long-lived and not being detected over time.
So talk to us about why phishing is a problem.
So phishing is still a problem for two reasons. First of all, if someone if a victim give away his credentials, that means that his account is being compromised. That's one scenario. A different scenario would be someone downloading malicious files to his computer as a result of phishing attacks, and then his device becoming compromised. So both of those scenarios are a problem, right? They're a big problem to all of us. But beyond that, from my point of view, the problem with phishing is that it's still relevant, it's still working, and that means that adversaries are constantly evolving the techniques that they are using and making sure that their attack vector of phishing is still relevant. And that's something that I'm bothered about, and I want to make sure that we know how to fight back against those kind of attacks and mitigate those kind of attacks.
Now talk to us about what you've seen in terms of phishing this year and how you feel the attacks have evolved in the past year.
So part of our research is that we are tracking a lot of phishing attacks out there. And in order to do that, we track the actual phishing toolkit being used. Toolkit is actually the software being used to deploy and launch phishing campaigns. And we tracked over 200 of those toolkits in the past year. What we were able to see that those toolkits are being reused over and over and over again, meaning that kind of phenomena create a lot of challenge from a defensive point of view, because that creates the scale and the volume of phishing attacks out there. And that actually led us to build solutions that will enable us to fight back against those attacks and try to make sure that we know how to mitigate them. So that's a trend that we're able to see. We continue to see that over the years, but it becomes really worse in the past few years, where we are seeing much more of those recycling and reusing of those toolkits over and over again.
All right, thanks, Or. I'm going to move on to Ziv now. Ziv, I know you and your team have been working on a solution called Brand Protector to tackle these specific problems. Can you talk more about it?
Sure, that's right. So we recently launched Brand Protector. Been working on it since earlier this year. And the goal in Brand Protector is to detect websites that impersonate our customer's brand and target their end users. So you can think about phishing websites, fake stores, any website that tries to steal payment information, all by leveraging social engineering and trying to convince the victims, which are our customers' end users, to believe that they're interacting with the legitimate brand. So we've seen a lot of different and interesting attacks. The way we do this is by we need access to very good intelligence, and really the challenge with detecting brand impersonation, phishing attacks, is by getting access initially to very good intelligence. That's the main challenge, and that is because these websites exist externally to the customer's environment. So you can think, as opposed to other attacks that target web applications, they do not directly target the web application. They just create a lookalike website that exists in a different server, it can be any server online, and they just lure our customers, end users, to that website. and they actually target them there. So the key challenge is, how do I even learn about the existence of this website? So we have a three-step process. The first one focuses really on intelligence, on getting access to even knowing about these websites, so the data and intelligence phase. And our key source is actually the Akamai network, which provides us a unique vantage point, unique access to exclusive data that only we're able to see, and we're able to pick up that data very, very, very early. And we also use other feeds like open source feeds and partner feeds for intelligence as well, because we believe we need as much intelligence as we can get. And then the next phase would be the detection phase. So this is a phase that focuses on getting these suspicious URLs that we picked up from the intelligence phase and deciding whether they are malicious or not. So we actually scan each and every suspicious URL. We extract a lot of different signals from from each website. We then run these signals through a series of what we call detectors. These are heuristic detectors and AI detectors mainly. And the goal is to basically answer the question, is this a malicious website? If it's malicious, what type of website is it? Is it phishing, fake stores? And is it targeting any of our customers? So what we call attribution to a customer. After we've come up with all that, we decide the threat score, and we provide indicators, we provide evidence, and as much information as we can to report to our customers so they can really then do with it, handle that information to take down the website. And which leads me to the final step, which is the mitigation step, and that involves taking down the website, which we do with a partner company that focuses on takedown. And that kind of closes the loop of getting notified of a website, detecting it, and then taking it down.
Are you able to discuss with us your observations from the proof of concept that you ran?
Yeah, so the early proof of concept focused on really confirming that we have unique intelligence, which we later found out that we did. And basically what we did is we took 30 customers, and we started looking at their data, at the data that we have on our network. And then what we discovered is that we were able to pick up a lot of different phishing sites. So we really focused on phishing specifically on the early POC. So out of these 30 customers, we were able to find phishing sites on 26 of them, which for us was, an amazing success. It meant that we have really unique intelligence, and that we can do something with it and provide value to our customers. And it's really interesting, what we came across during that POC. So, we thought about mainly phishing, and then we suddenly saw that there are different types of attacks for different customers, depending really on the industry and, depending on what the attacker is trying to obtain, whether it be identities, whether it be payment information, credentials, or if they're just trying to, steal money via crypto. So we really saw everything. And initially, we thought that we would see more websites that kind of have lookalike domains, that have kind of the brand name in the website. I think these are kind of the phishing sites that most people are aware of, the ones you get via email or SMS. But then we came across a lot more than we thought hijacked websites. So these are basically legitimate websites, right? That a lot of times kind of online stores, but that the attacker actually hijacks. So normally they're going to find some kind of vulnerability on the website. They're going to exploit it and upload their phishing site to kind of this hidden directory on that server, and then serve that URL directly. So what that achieves is that it leverages the legitimate domain name, which has good reputation most of the time, and that the URL doesn't have any indication of being related to the brand that's being impersonated. And so that makes it a lot harder to detect through traditional detection methods. And so since we have that already in our network, we're able to pick that up, scan it, and then by the scan understand that it's actually a phishing website. and that is related to one of our customers. So that's something very interesting that we've seen. We also seen, other types of scams like investment scams. So these are kind of sites that, tell you that you're going to get a special investment opportunity in a known public company. You're going to make like 20,000% APY, and you need to invest with Bitcoin. Stuff like that. Very, very interesting. So I'd say the attackers are becoming very, very creative. We also seen, phishing websites that bypass 2FA processes. And so they're becoming increasingly advanced and increasingly convincing.
Got it. So how would Akamai mitigate cyber squatters, or in simple terms, copycats?
So since these websites live externally to our customers' environment, they can be just on any server out there, and we don't have access to them. Our best approach to mitigate them is by a takedown process. So this involves collecting as much evidence as possible during the detection process, such as screenshots, any signals that imply that they're infringing our customer's brand, and then submitting that to the relevant contacts to make a case so that they take it down. So that you can think about, domain registration, domain registrars, hosting providers, ISPs, and we have companies, that specialize in this process. We have decided to partner with another company that specializes in takedowns, and that's how we handle the mitigation process.